A few weeks ago, one Texas utility company quietly filed a number that should scare anyone who thinks the AI trade is only about chips. 200 gigawatts. That's the amount of electricity that has been requested from a single utility's connection queue, almost all of it from data centers. To put that in context, 200 gigawatts is more power than the entire state of Texas has ever produced and used at one single moment in its history. Now, every channel on YouTube right now is talking about NVIDIA. They're talking about chips, GPUs, AI compute, and that's a real story. But here's the question almost nobody is asking. What happens when you build a $100 billion data center and the grid can't deliver enough power to run it? Because that is exactly the wall the AI industry is hitting right now. The next AI bottleneck may not be chips, it may be electricity. And two companies, one almost nobody associates with AI, sit directly inside that bottleneck. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how the AI power crunch works and which two companies are positioned at the center of it. I'm John A.G. This is Future AI Stocks. This video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. Nothing here is financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions. For 20 years, the power grid in this country grew at a slow, predictable pace, a couple percent a year. Utilities could plan decades in advance. Then AI happened. A single hyperscale data center built for AI training can now require more electricity than an entire mid-sized city. And companies aren't building one. They're building dozens all at once, all wanting power yesterday. In Texas alone, which has become the epicenter of America's data center boom, the largest transmission utility in the state reported having around 200 gigawatts of interconnection requests sitting in its queue. 186 gigawatts of that is data centers alone. For comparison, the entire state's grid has never actually delivered more than about 85 to 90 gigawatts at its peak. The math doesn't work, not even close. Which means one of two things has to happen. Either a huge chunk of these data center projects never actually get built, or the power infrastructure underneath them has to expand at a pace utilities have genuinely never attempted before. That second scenario is where real money is being deployed right now, and it splits into two very different problems that two very different kinds of companies are solving. Problem one, you need to physically build out the grid, more transmission lines, more substations, more capacity to deliver that power in the first place. Problem two, even once the power is there, AI data centers don't draw electricity smoothly. Their load spikes and drops in milliseconds as GPU clusters ramp up and down. That kind of erratic demand can destabilize a power grid if nothing is there to absorb the swings. One company in today's video is building the infrastructure for problem one. The other is solving problem two. Let's start with the utility sitting at the center of the biggest data center boom in America. Let's talk about Sempra, ticker SRE, because most retail investors still think of this as a sleepy California gas and electric company. That description hasn't been accurate for over a year. Here's what Sempra actually is today. A regulated utility holding company that owns San Diego Gas and Electric and SoCal Gas in California, and Oncor, the largest transmission and distribution utility in Texas. Oncor is the part of this business that matters most for this story. Oncor doesn't generate power. It moves it, the wires, substations, and transmission infrastructure that connect electricity to homes and businesses across the Dallas-Fort Worth region and beyond. And Dallas-Fort Worth is one of the single hottest data center markets in the country right now. That's why Oncor is the utility sitting on top of that 200 gigawatt interconnection queue we just talked about. Around 9 gigawatts of that has already converted into signed binding interconnection agreements. Oncor's own leadership has said roughly 20% of total requests tend to become real, contracted load over time, which still works out to a multi-decade build-out opportunity most utilities in America would dream of having. Sempra has responded by raising its capital spending plans aggressively. Management has guided toward roughly $65 billion of capital investment across the 2026 through 2029 window, with a large share of that directed at expanding Oncor's grid specifically to handle this data center wave. Texas grid regulators recently signed off on more than $7 billion of new transmission projects tied to this growth in the Dallas-Fort Worth corridor alone. Now let's talk numbers. Sempra's 2026 adjusted earnings per share guidance sits in the $4.80 to $5.30 range. The stock has been trading in the high 80s to low 90s through late May and June, off from highs near $95 to $101 earlier this year, partly on broader rate-sensitive utility weakness. partly on noise around a $10 billion sale of a stake in its infrastructure unit. Wall Street's read on that pullback has mostly stayed bullish. Goldman Sachs carries a $106 price target. Evercore ISI sits at 106 as well. Truist at 104. And even after trimming targets slightly in June, BMO Capital still rates the stock outperform at 103. The broader analyst consensus on SRE remains a buy. There's also a corporate catalyst worth watching. Activist investor Voss Capital has been publicly pushing Sempra to spin off Oncor entirely. The idea being that a pure-play Texas grid company, freed from California's wildfire liability and slower-growing utility assets, could trade at a meaningfully higher valuation on its own. Whether that happens or not, it tells you something about how much value the market believes is sitting inside that Texas grid business right now. I want to be balanced here, because Sempra isn't a pure-play AI bet. It's a utility with real, unglamorous complexity attached to it. California wildfire liability remains a structural risk for its SDG and E and SoCalGas units. Sempra's infrastructure arm has exposure to Mexican state-owned counterparties Pemex and CFE, and any financial stress there could ripple back. The company is also extremely capital-intensive. Sempra spent more on capital projects last year than it generated in operating cash flow, meaning free cash flow has been negative as it builds for the future. That's a normal pattern for a utility in growth mode, but it does mean continued reliance on debt and equity markets to fund the build-out. The honest version of this thesis is simple. Sempra isn't a stock that explodes overnight on a single headline. It's a slower-moving, regulated bet on the idea that whoever owns the wires under America's AI boom gets paid steadily for decades, as long as even a fraction of that 200-gigawatt queue turns into real, contracted demand. Here's the part of the story most investors completely skip past. Let's say Oncor and every other utility in America somehow manages to physically deliver enough raw electricity to a data center campus. That alone doesn't solve the problem. AI training and inference workloads don't draw power the way a factory or a neighborhood does. When a massive GPU cluster ramps up a training run, it can swing its power draw by enormous amounts in a fraction of a second, then drop just as fast. Grid operators call this a load swing, and at the scale modern AI clusters operate, those swings can physically destabilize a local grid if nothing absorbs the shock. The fix is something most people have never thought about as an AI investment: large-scale batteries. Not the kind in your phone. Industrial battery energy storage systems, sitting right next to the data center, soaking up those violent power swings before they ever hit the public grid. This is exactly why NVIDIA, Siemens, and one specific American battery company just published a joint engineering blueprint for how next-generation AI data centers should be built. And that company is the second stock in this video, Fluence Energy, ticker FLNC. Headquartered in Arlington, Virginia, backed by two major shareholders, Siemens and AES. Here's what Fluence does in one sentence. They build large-scale battery energy storage systems. Their flagship product is called SmartStack, that utilities, renewable energy projects, and now data centers use to store and smooth out electricity. Think of it as a massive shock absorber sitting between the power grid and whatever is drawing electricity from it. For most of the last 2 years, this was a rough stock to own. Fiscal year 2025 revenue actually fell over 16% due to production delays. The stock crashed all the way down to around $5.40 a share, and the company faced investor lawsuits tied to its guidance cuts. By most measures, this was a broken story. Then, on June 1st of this year, everything changed in a single trading session. Siemens, in partnership with NVIDIA, published the official reference architecture for a 136-megawatt AI data center built around NVIDIA's next-generation DSX Vera Rubin supercomputer platform. Inside that blueprint, one company's battery system was named as the specified hardware for managing power delivery into the GPU racks, not listed as an option among several vendors, but written into the design itself as the prescribed solution. That company was Fluence. The stock moved 44% in a single day, from around $19 to over $27. As of late June, FLNC has been trading in the mid-20s, with a 52-week range running from roughly $5.40 all the way up to $33.50, one of the most volatile moves of any stock in the entire energy sector this year. Now let's look at the actual fundamentals behind that move, because the news is only half the story. Fluence's most recent quarter, fiscal Q2 2026, showed revenue of about $465 million, up roughly 7.7% year over year, though that came in below what Wall Street had modeled, largely due to shipment timing delays out of facilities in Vietnam and Spain. Adjusted gross margin improved to 11.1%. But here's the number that actually matters for this story. Fluence is now sitting on a record $5.6 billion order backlog, after order intake roughly doubled year to date. The company has already signed 2 master supply agreements with major hyperscale data center customers, names it hasn't disclosed publicly yet, tied to a 12 gigawatt-hour pipeline of future data center projects. Full-year guidance has been reaffirmed at $3.2 to $3.6 billion in revenue. Wall Street's response to all of this has been genuinely split, and it's worth showing you that instead of pretending everyone agrees. Citi raised its price target to $26. RBC Capital raised theirs to $16. Mizuho, on the other hand, kept an underperform rating with a $15 target even after the 44% jump, citing concerns about how crowded the AI data center power ecosystem is becoming. The average analyst price target across the stock currently sits around $18 to $19, meaningfully below where the stock has been trading since the NVIDIA news. That's a real signal that a lot of professional analysts think the move has outrun the fundamentals, at least for now. The other risk worth knowing, Fluence still posts negative GAAP margins, and in its most recent fiscal year, just 2 customers accounted for roughly 41% of total revenue. Real concentration risk for a company this size. In May, existing major shareholders also sold 20 million shares in a secondary offering. Fluence itself didn't receive any proceeds from that sale, but it's still worth knowing insiders were trimming positions, even as the AI data center story was building. This is a name where the headline is genuinely exciting, the backlog numbers are real, but the valuation has clearly run ahead of where Wall Street's models currently sit. That gap is exactly why this is a stock worth understanding deeply before forming any opinion on it. Here's the frame that ties Sempra and Fluence into one connected thesis. AI data centers need 2 things from the power world, in this exact order. First, raw electricity has to physically reach the site. New substations, new transmission lines, new grid capacity. That's Sempra and Encore's job, and it's a multi-decade, regulated, government-approved build-out. Second, once that power arrives, it has to be absorbed and smoothed so the violent load swings of GPU training runs don't destabilize the grid itself. That's Fluence's job, and NVIDIA and Siemens have now written that role directly into the blueprint for next-generation AI infrastructure. Neither company replaces the other. A utility without storage can deliver power that destabilizes under AI load. A battery company without a utility to plug into has nowhere to sell its product. Sempra is the highway. Fluence is the suspension system that keeps the ride from shaking itself apart. That's the part of the AI power story that doesn't fit neatly into a headline about NVIDIA's stock price, but it's exactly where 2 very different types of investors are positioning right now. Before we wrap up, let's be straight about what could go wrong, because that's how serious investors actually think about positions like these. For Sempra, not every gigawatt sitting in an interconnection queue becomes real revenue. Encore's own leadership estimates only around 20% of requested load typically converts into signed, contracted demand. California wildfire liability remains a standing structural risk for the utility's western operations. And this is a capital-intensive business. Sempra is spending more than it earns in free cash flow right now to fund this growth, which means continued reliance on debt markets. For Fluence, the stock's 44% single-day jump happened on a design specification, not a signed binding revenue contract. Average analyst price targets remain well below where the stock is currently trading, which tells you the market may be pricing in more certainty than currently exists. Revenue concentration in a small number of large customers is real, and this remains a company that has not yet posted a profitable GAAP quarter. And one risk that touches both names. The entire AI data center build-out assumes hyperscalers keep spending at today's pace for years. If AI capital expenditure growth slows, for any reason, both the grid build-out and the battery backlog tied to it would slow down with it. Know your risks before you know your thesis. So here's what I want you to walk away with today. Everyone watching the AI trade is staring at chips and software. Almost nobody is watching the literal electrons that have to flow before any of that technology can actually run. Sempra owns the wires, bringing that power to one of the hottest data center markets in the world. Fluence makes the battery that NVIDIA itself just said is required to handle that power safely. Different risk profiles, different stages of their own story, but both sitting directly inside the same bottleneck. If this gave you a way of looking at the AI trade you didn't have 10 minutes ago, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who want research over noise. Drop a comment. Which side of this story interests you more? the steady utility play in Sempra, or the high volatility battery story in Fluence? Subscribe and hit the bell if you haven't already. I'm John A.G. I'll see you in the next one.